There's a moment in childhood when the world feels endless. The sky is impossibly high, summers stretch forever, and every question feels worth asking. Why is the sky blue? Where does the moon go in the day? Why can't we touch the stars? As children, we ask these things without shame, without worrying if they're silly, because we still believe the world is an open book. But as we grow older, something changes. The questions fade, the sense of discovery dulls. We trade wonder for understanding, or at least for the illusion of it. We begin to assume we know enough. But do we? What do we lose when we grow up? And more importantly, how do we get it back? When you think about it, the transition from child to adult is not just about age. It's a shift in attention. Children live in a constant state of discovery. Every sound, every color, every new face is a puzzle to be solved. Neurologically, this makes sense. In early life, the brain is flooded with plasticity. Synapses form at breathtaking rates. Each experience literally rewires the mind. By the time we reach adulthood, the brain becomes more efficient, less exploratory, more specialized. This efficiency is what allows adults to focus, to plan, to build. But it also narrows perception. We stop exploring because we think we've already seen enough. Neuroscientist Alison Gopnik once wrote, "Children are the research and development division of the human species, while adults are production and marketing." It's a funny but painfully accurate metaphor. As children, we experiment wildly, making sense of the world by touching, tasting, and wondering. As adults, we use what we've learned to survive and produce. But in the process, we lose touch with the open-ended curiosity that made us feel alive in the first place. Curiosity isn't just a mood. It's a biological drive. Studies by neuroscientist Matthias Gruber show that when we're curious, the brain releases dopamine, the same chemical involved in reward and motivation. It turns out curiosity feels good for a reason. It's meant to guide us toward learning and discovery. When curiosity is activated, the hippocampus, the region responsible for memory, lights up. Information learned during states of curiosity is remembered more deeply and for longer. So when we stop asking questions, we don't just lose interest. We literally weaken one of the brain's most powerful learning systems. Psychologist Todd Kashdan found something similar. People who score higher in curiosity experience greater happiness, better relationships, and higher creativity. Why? Because curiosity keeps the mind flexible. It forces us to update our assumptions and stay open to new perspectives. When curiosity fades, rigidity takes over. We become defensive instead of curious, certain instead of questioning. But this isn't new. The tension between wonder and certainty has always existed. The philosopher Socrates, centuries ago, claimed that wisdom begins in wonder. He saw ignorance not as an insult, but an invitation to explore. Centuries later, Albert Einstein echoed that sentiment, writing, "The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing." Einstein's genius wasn't just in mathematics, it was in preserving a childlike awe for the universe. He described himself not as especially intelligent, but as passionately curious. History is full of people who turned childlike curiosity into something transformative. Leonardo da Vinci filled notebooks with sketches of birds and human anatomy, studying flight and form simply because he couldn't help himself. Marie Curie once wrote, "Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood." For her, curiosity wasn't naive. It was an act of courage. And Rachel Carson, whose book Silent Spring sparked the modern environmental movement, said that If a child is to keep alive his inborn sense of wonder, he needs the companionship of at least one adult who can share it. That single line captures our dilemma. Many of us lose wonder not because the world becomes dull, but because the adults around us stopped showing us how to see. The 20th century gave us extraordinary examples of curiosity at scale. The space race wasn't just about politics, it was about imagination. In 1969, millions of people watched in awe as humans stepped onto the moon. Not because they understood the science, but because they could still feel wonder. That kind of collective curiosity made humanity feel bigger than itself. In contrast, the digital age has given us infinite information, but often less meaning. We scroll endlessly, chasing novelty, mistaking it for curiosity. But there's a difference. Psychologist Daniel Berline called this diversive curiosity, the restless desire for stimulation. True curiosity, what he called epistemic curiosity, goes deeper. It's not about distraction, it's about the pursuit of understanding. When we were children, we were rich in epistemic curiosity. We didn't just want to see new things, we wanted to know how they worked. Somewhere along the way, that changed. The systems we live in, school, work, even social media, reward knowing the right answer, not asking the right question. In a world obsessed with speed, curiosity is slow. It takes patience, humility, and the willingness to not know. But it's that willingness that keeps life expansive. The brain, however, never loses the ability to change. Neuroscientist Michael Merzenich proved that neuroplasticity doesn't end in childhood. It continues throughout life. When adults engage in new experiences, learn skills, or challenge habits, the brain rewires itself. Every time we choose to be curious again, to learn a new instrument, to ask why something happens, to notice the shape of a leaf, we are literally rebuilding the pathways of wonder. And that's the key. Wonder isn't lost. It's buried. It's waiting underneath routine, hidden by repetition and certainty. The challenge is to dig it out, to make space for awe again. Psychologists Dietrich Keltner and Jonathan Haidt define awe as the feeling we experience when we encounter something vast that challenges our understanding of the world. It's the goosebumps you get when you see a mountain range or hear music that moves you. Awe makes us feel small, but in a good way. It dissolves the ego and reminds us we're part of something larger. Studies show that awe reduces stress, improves mood, and even increases generosity. In one experiment, people who spent a minute looking up at tall trees afterwards were more likely to help others. Awe literally makes us kinder. So, how do we rebuild these capacities? It starts with attention. Philosopher Simone Weil wrote, "Attention is the rarest and purest form of generosity. When we give attention fully, even to something ordinary, we reawaken the parts of us that can still feel wonder. The act of noticing becomes sacred. Try this. Next time you walk outside, pick one thing, light, sound, texture, and study it as if you've never seen it before. The brain loves novelty, and attention amplifies it. Within days, the world starts to feel alive again. Another path back is play. Play is not just for children. Neuroscientist Jack Panksepp discovered the play system in mammals, a network of brain regions that release joy and creativity when we engage in spontaneous, purposeless activity. Adults suppress play because we think it's a waste of time. But play is what allows the brain to experiment, to connect ideas that don't normally go together. Stuart Brown, who studied hundreds of people across professions, found that those who play, through art, movement, humor, or exploration, are more adaptable and resilient. Play is not the opposite of seriousness, it's the foundation of creativity. Then there's flow. Psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi described flow as the state where challenge and skill meet, when you're so engaged that you lose track of time. Flow is the adult form of play. It's where mastery and curiosity coexist. You can find it in painting, writing, coding, running, gardening, anywhere the mind and body move in harmony. Flow doesn't erase difficulty, it transforms it into engagement. Meaning also matters. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." Meaning gives direction to curiosity. When we connect what we do to something larger than ourselves, the small becomes profound. Curiosity without meaning can scatter us. Curiosity with meaning grounds us. If you want to begin reawakening these lost capacities, start small. The science is clear. Small, repeated actions change the brain. You don't need to overhaul your life. Start with 5 minutes of intentional noticing each morning. Write down one question you don't know the answer to, and spend a few minutes exploring it. Replace one moment of scrolling with a moment of genuine inquiry. Try one playful act that has no purpose. Walk somewhere new. Talk to someone outside your usual circle. Each small act is a vote for curiosity. History shows that the biggest revolutions often start with quiet noticing. Rachel Carson noticed the silence of the birds before anyone else did. Leonardo noticed the curl of smoke. Einstein noticed a beam of light and wondered what it would be like to chase it. These were not grand gestures, they were acts of attention. We live in a time that tells us to move faster, to know more, to be certain. But what if the real growth is in slowing down? What if maturity isn't about having all the answers, but about staying open to the questions? Growing up doesn't mean the end of wonder. It's an invitation to practice it consciously. So here's an idea. What if you treated curiosity like a muscle? You'd train it a little each day, ask one question that leads nowhere, read something outside your field, look up at the night sky for a few minutes longer than you think you need to. Wonder how ancient people must have felt looking at the same stars. Imagine a version of yourself who never stopped doing that. That version of you still exists. They're waiting for you to look up again. We lose wonder not because the world becomes smaller, but because our attention does. What we lose when we grow up isn't gone. It's just hidden beneath everything we thought we needed to be. When we take time to notice again, to question, to play, we bring it back piece by piece. Life starts to feel full again, not because anything outside changed, but because we remembered how to see. And maybe that's the point. To grow up, but never grow closed. To understand deeply, but still marvel. To hold knowledge in one hand and wonder in the other. That's not childish, that's human. Thank you for listening to the Paradigm Journal. If you found something in this reflection that spoke to you, take it with you. Ask a question tonight that you haven't asked in years. Let the silence answer. And remember, what we lose when we grow up can always be found again if we're willing to look.